Soybean growers are switching more and more to planting their soybeans early when soils are still cool and wet. And so if you get the opportunity to plant your soybeans early, you really want to use a product that will provide good crop safety. We've seen issues with certain brands where the grower was lucky enough to plant early, but he had to replant because of herbicide injury. Crop safety is so important when it comes to achieving maximum yield potential, because you want all the seeds that you planted to emerge, because each one is going to contribute to your final yield. So if you've only got one good window to plant early, we know that soybeans can yield more when you plant early. So you want to maximize and get every plant out of the ground that you can. There's already enough stressors as there is when it comes to drought stress, diseases, nematodes. Why add an extra stress of herbicide on top of that when you don't have to with this three-way mixture? Our three-way mixture really rounds out our herbicide portfolio in soybeans because it brings that broadleaf weed control. If you look throughout the Midwest, there's more cockleburr, morning glory, and ragweed species than we've seen in years past. And it's really going to round out having a broad spectrum pre-emergence herbicide that also provides great crop safety. What we're going to take a look at is some soybeans that were planted in early May under very heavy weed pressure, and we wanted to look at crop safety of the pre-herbicides as well as weed control of the entire system. So if you look behind me, you can see we have a very dense population of water hemp. And so these emerged about 3 months ago, and you can see they're all flowering now and very thick. So when we walk down to look at our three-way mix soybean herbicide, we can see that it's very clean. So this is applied in early May and had a post-application a month after that with sequence herbicide, and it is staying very clean to this day. And now we can also take a look at this three-way mix in a bare ground scenario. And this was applied about a month and a half ago. And if you look on each side of me in the checks, we have very heavy weed pressure. And if you look at the ground, we can also see that the residual control is very good, and we're keeping this plot nice and clean.
We have boundary at 3 different rates, and what we're trying to show here is the importance of higher rates, especially when we're trying to go after weeds like tall water hemp and Palmer amaranth. So in the first plot, we're looking at boundary at a pint and a half. The second plot is at 2 pints, and the third plot is at 2.4 pints. And you can plainly see the control definitely improves as we go to the higher rates. And so it's very important to, especially when you have heavy pressure, don't skip on the rate to make sure that you get the full rate out there.
Again, this year, we're really seeing the value of residual herbicides in the bare ground and in the in-crop soybean trials here. The most important thing for growers to know about weed resistance is once it starts, you can't stop it. Once you have a resistant population, it's always going to be there. So you really need to use all the tools you can to stop it from spreading on your farm. That really comes down to using residual herbicides at good rates with multiple effective sites of action and using all the tools at your disposal so we're not selecting for those resistant populations. Prefix has been a great residual product, both pre and early post-emerge. What else is nice is that we can bolt on another tank mix partner and kind of expand the residual of that herbicide component. We've got several trials of that showing the flexibility and really tailoring that program to the weeds that you have on your farm. On top of that, we've also looked at how are we going to pair Syngenta residual herbicides with the new technologies, be either Enlist or Extend. Tavium plus Vapor Grip technology herbicide has been a really great product, having that all pre-mixed together. So when you go out there, you're making sure you have a residual at every step of the way, and residually controlling the tough late emerging weeds, especially water hemp in soybeans, is such a challenge.